Hello friend, in this video we will see how to apply a Spring Security in your existing Spring Boot project. So hello friend, I am Naval, you are watching Code with Naval. So let's start how to apply security. So first of all we have to add a dependency, Spring Security dependency. So for we have to simply open a browser and we have to get Maven dependency. Okay, for that simply type here mvn. Okay, you can see here, if scroll down you can see here Maven repository, search, browse, explore. Let's click that link and new windows will open. Simply type here Spring Security, Spring Boot Security. You can see Spring Boot Security. Let's search, click search button. We got here Spring Boot Security. Let's open this first one. Okay, I'll get a most downloaded. Okay, you can see here there is a one dependency, the user using 176. I'll simply get that dependency. I'll click here and I'll simply copy this code. Okay, dependency code. Simply copy this code and add this code in our project. This is our project. I'll expand this project and open pom.xml file. Here simply scroll down and I'll add inside the dependencies, simply add here that security dependency. Control Shift F for beautify your code. Let's save and this dependency will start download. Okay, you can see here building a workspace. Once dependency downloads successfully, then simply run the project and we will check the magic. We'll simply run as and Spring Boot application. Here you can see when I run the project, then here we got something like this, using a generated security password. Earlier we don't have this password. Earlier when we run that time we are not getting anything like this, but this time we are getting a something password. Okay, that means our Spring Security is the applicable. Okay, now I will simply copy my old project few files and I'll paste and I'll explain what use for those files. Okay, I'll simply copy this file. These are total 7 file. I'll copy all this file and I'll paste inside the demo package. You can see those files throwing error. Let's fix those file. Okay, I'll simply open one by one and I'll change a package. Click this icon and move package declaration. Okay, simply click this move package declaration. Control save. From where I copy this code, that project is the old project, that's why those things are deprecated. I'll simply remove this thing. Okay, control save. You can see still we have error. I'll simply remove this one, this line also. Okay, let's delete this, save. Then we have a app security configure. First remove all errors, then I'll explain each file one by one and you will get all this code on a GitHub. You don't worry about the code. Okay, now we have to check this file, what's wrong in this file. Okay, let's click here and change package declaration. Okay, let's save. Okay, then this one user detail service, open this, change this, change packet declaration, save. Then user control. Okay, here also change package declaration. Then we have a user principal, open this, Here also we have to change package declaration. Save this. Then last one, user repository. I will simply change here also, change package declaration. You can see we remove all errors. Okay, here we add 7 file. I'll explain a one by one file. You can see this file is a user.java. This is our entity file. Okay, this file is responsible to create a user info table. Inside that table we provide a username, password. Okay, for authentication what we required two things. One is a username and second one is a password. Okay, and simply here we create a getter setter method. Then we have a user repository. This user repository, as earlier also we created repository, there we use a repository for getting a Hibernate, or we can say JPA inbuilt method. Okay, here also we extend a JPA repository, and there we pass a entity class. Our user is an entity class, and their data type is their unique identity data type is a long. That's why here we provide user and long. There also, there one method we provide find by username. Okay, we will pass this username, and if that username present, then that username object will we will get back here. Okay, let's save this. Then we have a user control. Okay, inside a user control, you can see here we add a REST controller, request mapping, and course origin. Here we use a annotation user details, my user detail service. Let's open this my user detail service implementation. You can see here my user detail service implements user detail service. Inside a user detail service, there has a few methods. We override those method. Okay, load user by username. This method got from user detail service. We simply override this method. In this method expect username. Okay, this method expect username. Simply we call this method get user by username. We pass here username. Okay, and you can see here we use a user repository, and there we use a find by username. Okay, we earlier declared that user repository, and here we declare a find by username, and here we pass that particular username. And what this method returning? This method is returning a whole user object. Okay, let's come back. User detail. Okay, my user detail service. In this user object, we got that particular user details. We simply here getting that particular user ID and storing this user ID instance variable. Here we create a static variable. We are storing this user ID inside that static variable. Okay, in above here we just confirm our user login or not. Here we simply sys out. If user login, then user info, show the user info, I mean return user info. If user is not login, then simply show this message, error message, user not found. Okay, and also here we create a getter method, user ID. Whenever we want to get user that particular login user ID, that time we simply call get user ID, and we got that particular user ID. Then we have a app security configuration. Okay, this file is a very important. Here we have to create a one class, any class. I will simply give name here app security configuration. That class extend a web security configure adapter. This class provide a Spring Boot for a security purpose. Okay, simply we create our own class and we extend a web security configure adapter. And also we have to tell Spring Boot, this is our configuration class. Okay, whenever we perform some configuration, there we have to define a configuration. That's why here we define a configuration. And also we have to enable web security. For enable web security, here we use annotation @ enable web security. Okay, Then here we create a instance. Here we create a variable using @var. Here we create a object user detail service. Okay, here you can see in a user detail service have a provider. Here we create a one provider. Okay, provider object. In a provider we simply set user detail service, and here we pass that user detail service variable. Okay, then we have to tell provider which encoder we are using for authentication. Here we are using a password encoder, bcrypt password encoder. There are so many encoder for a password encoding. Here we are using a bcrypt password encoder. Okay, let's return a provider for authentication provider. Okay, then second method, here we have a configuration. This method we override from web security configure adapter. Let's override. Okay, overrided there. This method accept. Okay, this method accept http security and that particular http object. Okay, inside a http we set these few things: http.csrf disable authorization request, okay, and matcher and request and http basic. Those things we provide inside the http configure method. Then we have a authentication bean class. Okay, this bean class is a simple like a model class. Okay, in this bean class, here we define one single variable message, and simply here we create a getter setter. Okay, here simply create a constructor, then we create a getter setter, and we here create a toString method. Okay, let's check next one, my user detail service. Okay, user detail service, we recently checked this file, user detail, my user detail service, implement user detail service. Okay, it's @var user repo, and here you can see @var user repo. Here you can see user repo dot find by username. We are passing simply here username, and we are getting that user whole object. Okay, let's here create a try catch. In a try, if we have a user, then show this, store this user id inside, store user id inside the user id static variable. Okay, here we create a static variable. If not, then throw the exception, and here we delegate the exception username not found exception. Okay, that much simple. We have to add this 7 file. Okay, let's save this. I'll provide all this code on a GitHub. You can simply clone from there, and you can see code, and you will better understand. Let's save and run this application again. I'll simply run this application. Okay, let's run as a Spring Boot application. Now you can see here, after initializing the application, here we got the security alert. Okay, that means our security alert, where we define a security alert. Let's check inside a configure security configure file. You can see here we define a security alert, authentication provider auth provider. Here we simply print the security alert. That means our security class is initialized when we run application. Now if I try to access any API without authentication, I'll simply try this API. Okay, earlier we are able to access this API. Okay, you can see now we got the error unauthorized. Okay, so how can we access these APIs? For that, first of all, we have to add one user. You can simply refresh here. You can see we got here user info table. Let's open that table. I'll simply add here, take one record ID. And for how can we add a password? Because our password is a bcrypt password, we can't store our password here simple text, we have to convert that password in a bcrypt password. For that, we have one website. I'll simply open browse link. I'll provide this website link in a description. Okay, you can, okay, I'll simply put here my name NAVAL. Okay, and I'll simply click the bcrypt. You can see here we got that bcrypt code. I'll copy this code and I'll paste inside the table. Open this table. I'll add here that bcrypt code. Okay, then I'll simply add here username also, NAVAL. Let's save this. Go to the Postman, and where we can add authorization. You can see here we have an option. We have a few tabs here. Here params, then authorization. Let's click on authorization. Here we have an authorization type. Here so many types authorization we can apply. In this series, in this tutorial, we are using a basic auth. I'll simply select this basic auth and I'll pass username. Okay, I'll pass username Naval and password also NAVAL. Okay, show password. You can see NAVAL. Let's save this and hit the send button. You can see immediately we got our response. In a header, if you check inside the header and show this all hidden header, and if I scroll up little bit, here you can see authorization, and here basic and that particular encrypted authorization. If I copy this, okay, if I copy this, and I'll simply open a notepad. I'll simply paste that code inside a notepad plus, and I'll simply, what I will do, I'll select that all text. Okay, and I'll do one thing. I'll simply plugin command. Okay, plugin command. Here we do encoder to decoder. Okay, you can see here we have our username colon password. Okay, simply what we done here, simply encoder to decoder. You can see, I'll show one more time. I'll select all text, then I'll simply go this plugin commands. Okay, then we have a two option, base 64 encoder, base 64 decoder. This text is already encoded. Okay, I want to show password and username by using a decoder. Okay, I'll simply decode that text. Okay, you can see here our username as well as our password. That means we have added our web spring security successfully. Now the next point is we have to create one login page in our Angular project, and we have to enter their username password, and then only that application will able to interact with the backend application, or we can say interact, or we can say add employee, delete employee. Then only that application can perform a CRUD operation. Okay,